Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaicharana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the pada and the fire and the offering. Purport. The Vedic sacrifice, known as Jyotistoma, is also Krishna. And he is also the Mahayagya mentioned in the Smriti, the oblations offered to the Pitriloka, or the sacrifice performed to please the Pitriloka, considered as a kind of drug in the form of clarified butter, is also Krishna. The mantras chanted in this connection are also Krishna. And many other commodities made with milk products for offering in the sacrifices are also Krishna. The fire is also Krishna because fire is one of the 5 material elements and is therefore claimed as the separated energy of Krishna. In other words, the Vedic sacrifices recommended in the Karmakanda division of the Vedas are in total also Krishna. Or, in other words, those who are engaged in rendering devotional service unto Krishna are to be understood to have performed all the sacrifices recommended in the Vedas. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sargajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishware Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hari Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvi Navaditamastu Vidvisavahai Om Shanti 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 Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langai Tegirim Yat Kripa Tamam Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna. Who here was present for the Hindi class? 1, 2. So you have higher taste for Bhagavad Gita. This verse comes after a series of interesting verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has mentioned how those who are foolish, they deride him because they don't know he has a higher nature, an inexhaustible nature. So when he comes as a human being, they take him for granted, basically. If we're sensitive, we can pick up on the feelings of the Lord. He's a bit disappointed that, these fools, they can't understand me, and therefore they estimate me to be just like any human being. And then Krishna goes on to say, because of this misjudgment, this foolish estimation, then they are defeated in their activity, the activities of fruitive gain, and also because of this, they are attracted by the demoniac nature, and they become atheists. So in this way, we can use Krishna's words to understand what is going on in the world. Why are people becoming more atheistic? Because they cannot understand who the Supreme Lord is. And because they cannot understand, then they are influenced and attracted by demoniac views. There is no God. Life is all about enjoying your senses. And people say, we didn't make this world, we found it like this. If it's God who made our senses, then why does he want us to stop us from enjoying our senses? So they may think that Krishna has created a world for us just to suffer, and he watches and enjoys. So many miscalculated ideas about God. This is because of the influence of Maya, the material nature, which has deluded them. Then Krishna goes on to describe the Mahatmas, the great souls. They are different. Mahatmanas tumam pata devim prakritim ashuta. The great souls, what makes them great is that they take shelter of the internal pleasure potency of the Lord. So they are not deluded by the external energy, but they are taking shelter of the internal energy. Therefore, a small Atma, why does it become Mahatma, big Atma, great Atma? Because his conceptions of life are bigger than the mundane person's conceptions of life. Eat, drink, and be merry. That makes you a crippled soul, a duratma. But if one's conceptions of life are the supreme reality, the pleasure of the Lord, devotional service, by that association with the Supreme Lord through the internal pleasure potency, one small Atma from Delhi, from Johannesburg, can become a great soul, Mahatma. So because of this taking shelter of the divine energy, their symptoms are that they are always chanting Krishna's glories. It can be the glories of the name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The glories of the form, different incarnations of the Lord, the activities of Krishna. We are discussing Bhagavad Gita. Gita means song. This is also another form of chanting, a form of kirtan. And by such engagement, Satatam Kirtayantamam, always in this kirtan, then they have great determination. They are experiencing Krishna, they are in touch with Krishna. And they want more of Krishna. So they are determined. Because of being in touch with Krishna, because we are small, and when we understand the greatness of the Lord, then proximity to that greatness, it imbues the heart either with awe and reverence, or one just can understand how insignificant they are. When you're very close to the great person, then you see your own insignificance. We have experience of this, even here at Krishna Balaram Mandir. Sometimes big cars, they park here next to gate 2. And when we see a lot of police, maybe some guns, and then all of a sudden, we have to see, what am I up to? What am I doing? Who's coming here? You want to get your act together. Sometimes you see some danda coming from across, and all of a sudden, oh, There's a sannyasi here coming, maybe I should. So naturally, the great souls, because they know who Krishna is and they know his greatness, then they're always ready to bow down to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, offer their obeisances, and worship that Supreme Lord. Then the Lord switches. What about the others? We spoke about the fools and the rascals. They become bewildered. They are illusioned. All their activities are doomed for failure. The great souls, they turn to the Lord. They are determined. They are devoted. Others, they perform different sacrifices because they have different goals to achieve. So the one category is those who are able to recognize that the Supreme Lord is one. There is no other. There's one energy. These are the Advaitins. It's all one. Of course, we understand that it is not just one, but there's also variety. Srimad Bhagavatam teaches Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shabdyate. That the non-dual substance, the absolute truth, Vadanti Tat Tattva Vidas, that absolute truth is understood as Brahman, as Paramatma, and also as Bhagavan. So, although in the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord is sometimes addressed impersonally, still he remains a person. We give an example, even just in our own experiences. They may speak of someone is a shadow of the Guru. So some servant, they are a person, they are personal, but they're described as a shadow. Why? Because they are always next to the Guru, moving with him and ready to offer service. So they are almost as like an impersonal thing, shadow. Or some people are called they're like a force of nature. So although the term is impersonal, it's addressing someone's personal qualities. So the Supreme Lord, even though he may be described impersonally, it does not make him a non-person. In today's verse, then it becomes very clear. The Lord uses the word aham so many times. It is I, it is I, it is I. You may have heard that story, Prabhupada pastime in New York. There was one Indian gentleman. He was coming around and he was a follower of Dr. Radha Krishna. And he had that Bhagavad Gita. And so it is mentioned in that Bhagavad Gita 934, where the scholars. Mataji, 934, Bhagavad Gita. Man, Madhyajimam Namaskuru, Satyam Te, Patijana, Piyosimi. That's the second one. So he came to complain to Prabhupada. Swamiji, your students, they say that Dr. Radha Krishna's Bhagavad Gita is bogus. So Srila Prabhupada said, why are they saying that? He supported him. They should not say that. So he was new. He walked away satisfied. Like Swamiji, at least he respects my teacher. Because we all have a teacher. We all have a beginning somewhere. And Prabhupada couldn't understand. He can't just chop him immediately. You must give him an ear. So then, after some time, he was coming around, taking prasadam, hearing the classes, doing seva. Prabhupada called him and told him to bring his Bhagavad Gita. Now it had been published. Told him to open 934. And He said, chant the verse. So he read Sanskrit, Manmana, Bhava, Bhakto, Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru, Mama, Vaisya, Satyam, Te Prati, Jani, Priyosime. Then Prabhupada said, word for word. Then he was saying, become my devotee. Always think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me. Offer homage unto me. And certainly, I promise you, you will come to me without fail. So Prabhupada he explained, he said, Krishna is saying in so many places that always think of who? He made him repeat, me. Become my devotee. Offer your obeisances to me. And surely you will come to me without fail. But some rascals, they interpret that this is not Krishna, the person who is speaking, but it is the impersonal, unknowable within Krishna. That is bogus. And the same man, yes, Prabhupada, he agreed. Now he could understand, he's reading himself. It's so clear, Krishna's mentioning, it is me who we are to devote to. It is me whom we are to offer obeisance to. But someone comes in the commentary and says, it's not Krishna that we must surrender to. So this is how those who are affected by material energy, whose knowledge has been stolen by Maya Parita Jnana, they may be intelligent, materially speaking. They may be able to show great achievements in many areas. But Krishna is not one to be understood simply by extending one's fertile brain. If we speculate who Krishna is, then necessarily we will think and end at some impersonal thing. Because if God is everywhere, so he's everywhere, now you are thinking, you're speculating, you're stretching your mind. Maybe he's like the fattest man known. He must be this big blob that's everywhere. Okay, maybe, no, but then we don't see a fat man sitting on everything. So maybe it's just this light, this energy. Which is true, we mentioned Brahmaeti. In Brahma Samhita, it is said how Krishna is in everything, Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam. That he is within each and every atom. And he's in each and every atom in his complete power and potency. He's there. So he knows each and everything. In the Gita, Krishna says that everything rests upon me like pearls strung on a necklace. So you can see, here is a mala, is a garland, so many flowers. But when it's done right, can you say that these flowers are just floating on my chest? No. So what is holding the flowers up? There's a thread. Sutramane Ganaiva, Krishna says. Like a thread, I'm holding everything together. So yes, he's in everything. And even is there within the atom, if he likes, he can manifest his personal feature. Hiranyakashipu was threatening his son. Where do you get your power? Because his son was not afraid of him. His son Prahlad is glorifying Krishna. He is telling him that my strength comes from the same source as your strength. So now Hiranyakashipu is in the category of bewildered by illusion. Asuram Bhava Chaiva. He's a demon. So the demons, they cannot see anyone's prominence, anyone's influence beyond their own. Is when we assert our own strength, our own ability. This is the demoniac mentality. We don't recognize that our own strength, our own ability comes from the Lord. So Krishna is there. in everything, and he's threatening his son, is he in the stamba in my palace? He's so angry. This is my palace. I built it. Now you're saying my enemy, Vishnu, is present in my own palace. So he's prepared to kill his own son because his son has a vision different from his. Prahlad is a Mahatma. Hiranyakashipu is Duratma. So the Mahatma, he can see that the Lord is present in everything. He knows the Lord personally and he can see him present in everything. And Krishna appeared in that pillar as Lord Nishingadev to prove his devotee's words to be true, to maintain Vinashaya Chaduskritam. His mission is also to kill off the demons. So here's one big demon, Hiranyakashipu, we have to finish him. So yes, we speculate and we may come to that. There's a light, there's an energy that pervades everything. But it is impossible for the conditioned soul to think that everything is within Krishna. Because they see a form. So, Krishna here in Vrindavan, he sits on the lap of Mother Yashoda. Baby. He drinks the breast milk of Mother Yashoda. He plays around in the courtyard. And we say that this is God and that everything is within God. If you take your devotee cap off and think about it, it makes no sense. How big is the universe? We cannot really estimate, but it is said our particular universe is 4 billion yojanas in diameter. And that means that's the inner layer. Then outside of that layer, this earth, water, fire, air, ether, each layer is 10 times bigger than the rest. So how can a baby who sits on a lap of the mother have everything within him? It makes no sense. And 1 million people can come together and say, yes, this is nonsense. You can't even fit the house within the child. The child is only in the house. You can't even fit 2 tallies in your own stomach. How is the whole universe within this baby? Because material vision gives us longitude and latitude. So Krishna is a baby walking in Vrindavan. How can he be the source of everything, and how can he have everything within himself? So materially we cannot understand that. We understand from Shastra, this is how we extend our senses. The scripture gives us a vision, Jnana Chakshusa, that there is a Mahavishnu who's lying in the causal ocean. Even him we cannot comprehend. That from his breathing and from his pores, the different universes are coming like eggs. Who can understand that? But if by devotion we accept the knowledge which is given through parampara, that's why Jiva Goswami says, to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one must first accept that he is achintya. He is inconceivable. If I come and I know I cannot conceive of the Lord with my own tiny brain, then when I hear things that my tiny brain cannot compute, then I can understand, yes, it must be talking to God, because it's blowing my mind. It's beyond my conceptions. So it is revealed knowledge, descending knowledge. And so the Lord, everything is within him. Mother Yashoda is testimony to that. What did Krishna do? He is playing with Balaram and the cowherd boys. And then he starts to eat some earth, some dust. And Balaram is concerned. And immediately goes to tell Mother Yashoda, Maya, Kanaya is eating the dirt. Mother Yashoda is immediately concerned. This boy is going to get sick. I make so many nice milk sweets for him. Why would he eat the earth? Krishna says, no, they are accusing me. I didn't do this. If you think that Balaram is telling the truth, then just look in my mouth. You can tell I didn't eat anything. So Krishna tries to trick Mother Yashoda. If the criminal who has stolen something and locked it away somewhere, if we're looking, what happened to this mobile phone? And then, Prabhu, did you take it? I say, no, you check in my bead bag if you think I took it and I put it there. The psychology is that the person may think if he himself is saying, look there, then definitely he must not have put it in there. Reverse psychology, they call it. So Krishna, he tried, no, check in my mouth. I didn't do this. Mother Yashoda, she's experienced. And she knows her son. It's very crooked, even he stands like that. He's a very crooked boy. He likes to tell some white lies. So she checked in his mouth. When she looked in Krishna's mouth, she was shocked. She saw the whole Brahmanda. She saw the demigods. She saw time. She saw the entire universe in the sun's mouth. And she saw herself standing in Vrindavan looking into Krishna's mouth. And she thought, have I become bewitched? Someone put a spell on me? She wouldn't accept that because this is my son. So her love, her Vatsalya Prema, covers her knowledge of Krishna's position as the one who contains everything, who's the source of everything. So here when we are hearing from the Lord about what those other people who are neither foolish, atheistic, nor surrendered great souls, what do? We hear of their rituals that they perform, sacrifices they perform. They worship ancestors. They chant certain mantras. So Krishna is bringing it home that these rituals that they perform, they are also I. They're not separate from me. Because the vision that Krishna wants to inculcate in us is the vision of love. Krishna says, one who sees me everywhere, who sees everything in me, I am never lost to him and he's never lost to me. So when we love someone, then we never forget them. And wherever we go, we are thinking, this is a nice pendant to be nice for my child because I love them. This is a nice chada to be nice to get for my daughter. This is to be nice to get for my husband. Like that. We see things and we see the beloved's interest in them. So the Bhagavad Gita is Krishna explaining different ways in which one can come to understand him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although at the end Krishna says, Savadamam parityaja, mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tvam savapapebhyo moksha yisami masucha, that give up all other forms of religion, give up all these other methods, just surrender unto me. So he's bringing it back. Actually, I've explained all these other processes, but forget them, don't worry about them. Just surrender to me and I'll protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So, different sacrifices. Here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada speaks of Jyotistoma. It's famous for having 16 priests who have to be there to referee the thing. Soma is also drunk at that yagya. Others, they worship the ancestors' pitris. In India, that's there. In Africa, South America, even in Europe. Because actually the cultures of the world are all coming out of this Sanatan culture, eternal culture. So, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavajuna, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, rise, Arjuna, from these three modes of nature. Yoga Kshema, come up, come up. Connect to me. Be situated in goodness, sattva sto. And because the flowery words of the Vedas, or whatever is described there, is to gradually bring people up. So everyone can perform something that connects them to the Lord. But ultimately, like any ladder, if you climb, then you have to get to the top step. And all these processes, worshipping the ancestors, they are bona fide, they are explained in the scriptures, but they will not give immediately the highest benefit. Therefore, Krishna doesn't just boss us around. He could have easily had one verse in Bhagavad Gita. I am God, you are my creation, worship me, otherwise Kangamai with you. Issue one big threat. If you don't worship me, I am God, I'll starve you. But no, Krishna respects our intelligence. Therefore, he explains things to us, so that when we understand what each process is, then we can choose intelligently to take the simplest, the most ecstatic, and the most direct path, which is devotion, bhakti. So here Krishna says, the healing herb is the healing herb. This I like to quote when I speak to the Rastas. The Rastas are like an offshoot of Shaivites. You know, they imitate Lord Shiva and then they smoke ganja. Of course, they smoke the serious ones. The Rastas, they smoke it as part of their rituals. Maybe they're going to be chanting for many hours. So then the herb, gets them in some sort of trance, some zone. So I tell them, yes, worship Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that I am the healing herb. When they hear this healing herb, they like that. Yes, it's a healing herb, Aya. Then they say, we like Krishna because he recognizes the herb. So many gates are there into the house of bhakti. Very liberal process. But Krishna here is saying so many times, aham, I. So that people don't get lost in thinking it's about the herb. It's about pouring the ghee into fire. It's about these different mantras, so many mantras. No, the mantras are many, but Krishna says, in 15:15, Sarasachamriti Sanivisto, Matasmriti Gyanamapuanam Cha, Vedaischa Savaya Hameva Vedya, Vedanta Krit Veda Evacha. That I am the compiler of the Vedic literature, and I am the knower of the Vedic literature. And so by all this knowledge, I am to be known. But because it takes purified consciousness, purified faith, association with pure devotees, association with Krishna and his holy name, Krishna Prasadam, cleansing, to understand that this son of Nanda Maharaj is the all in all. These processes are there. And you see, these days, if there's a yagya, they make nice homa and swaha, swaha, so many meters, so many. People are enlivened. They like this. More people come. If we say we're going to do 108 yagyas, many, at least here it's Vrindavan, it's the land of Radha. People, they come for Radharani. So, but in general, If you look into the Sanatani world, yes, yagya is a big thing because we can see the smoke, we can see the fire, we can hear the mantras, we feel, oh, this is. When the devotees say, no, just chant Hare Krishna. In this chanting, all Vedic sacrifices are performed. People think, Hare Krishna, they spoiled our culture. They accuse Prabhupada, yeah. There are all these powerful processes and Prabhupada just recommending bhakti. So Srila Prabhupada says, bewildered by Maya, people don't want to take the easy process that Mahaprabhu is giving. They'd rather take, if you tell them you have to bend like this and sit in fire, in Sama, go to the Himalayas, or do so many yagyas, then they think, okay, that will work. But when you say simply chant the holy name of Krishna, they think it's too easy. But then when I say, okay, it's too easy, then you do it. They don't want to do it. So material life means that we want the benefits, but we don't really want to do the work. So if there are some brahmanas, some priests, qualified or not qualified, they are chanting the mantras, we don't know what they're saying, they are throwing in the fire, we can just come there and we'll take the remnants there and we feel we got the punya and Jai Jagadisa Hari. But sadhana, you wake up every day, you come to Krishna, you chant his name, you give up sense gratification. Oh, no. This is too much now. Yes. So Krishna here is helping us to come to a personal understanding of himself by identifying that all processes are actually himself. Because yes, he is the fire. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, the different elements. Bhumi, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kam, like that. So there is nothing but Krishna. But at the same time, Krishna is different from his energy. So this is our philosophy, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. That Krishna is inconceivably, simultaneously one with everything. At the same time, he's different from everything. Because when we say he's just everything, he's one, then how do we worship Krishna in his elements? Then people will say, if he's everything, let me worship this mic. This is God. No, God's energy is God. I might as well create some process. Every day I just challenge the mic, I bow down, and it's worship of God. So we are being elevated to understand Krishna in his personal feature by seeing him in every Vedic sacrifice, in every ritual, in the worship of the ancestors, in the chanting of different mantras, in the partaking of different herbs to heal or to... Thinking of herbs, maybe I should not market this herb anyway. There's a famous trend, South America. People pay good money to go and meet the shamans in the Amazon. And they put together this ayahuasca, very powerful, hallucinogenic. They drink this thing and then they start to have all these visions and hallucinations. And so sometimes they have mystical experiences. Others, they even can lose their minds because some trauma can come up. But like this, by drinking this, then they think they've met God or this is that. So we have to take the association of Krishna but in the correct dose. So the importance of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu is most important. Then they can let us in to understand the Lord. So this chapter is called the most confidential knowledge. Any thoughts or any comments or questions? I'll stop here. Okay.
Thanks for wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, like some questions may arise, like normally some may argue saying that the Krishna's energy is everything, and when you say energy, there are poison, drugs, and these things. Why did Krishna make this? Like people may wonder, like, yes, if everything is energy of Krishna, everything is Krishna. Why did Krishna make poison, drugs, and all sort of things that people are using?
Yes. Yes, blame, you know. Blame means I pointed you, but then I don't look, there's three pointing at me. So, anyway, variety is the mother of all enjoyment. So, Krishna has created varieties, but he has given Veda knowledge to tell us how to use, how to interact with this energy, how to use it. So, there is Ayurveda. It is discussing how to deal with different herbs, and certain poisons can be used to help, to heal. When we don't consult the Shastra and we want to use it to enjoy it in some way, the enjoyer becomes a victim of his enjoyment. I think I'm enjoying this drug, but later on I cannot do without it. I'm suffering without it. I've become victimized by addiction. So instead of seeing my fault, because of false ego, we tend to want to blame everyone else except us. And Krishna is like blamed number one. You know, people blame God. But when something good happens, and no one is saying, why did God give me such good luck? You know, I almost died in a car accident. He should have just let me die. But when we feel we don't want the result, we blame God. So it's our fault of not understanding Krishna and understanding his purposes. Yes, Matis.
Thank you for the wonderful points in this lecture. I just have a question about serving the pitris and performing those rituals. Now, as aspiring devotees, we are not at that platform that, performing bhakti in such a pure form that you don't have to do anything else. How do you see it, or can you share some thoughts? What should an aspiring devotee, how should he see those rituals, and should he also partake in them?
Yes, the examples, if the question didn't come through, if I'm not so advanced to perform bhakti at its pure level of only worshipping Krishna, what do I do when it comes to doing the rituals for the pitris, the ancestors? So our answer to that is that we have to follow the example of the great souls. One vivid example is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, how he honored his ancestors. But how the Vaishnava honors the ancestors is that he understands that everyone being parcel of Krishna, Mama Vangso Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So to benefit them truly, one has to connect them with Lord Vishnu. And so the pinda that is offered is basically prasadam. And the mantras that are chanted are mantras to appease Vishnu. So in that way, we offer them transcendental benefit. Otherwise, the other rituals which contain the mode of ignorance or passion, their benefit is minimal and temporary. So if I am carrying something heavy on one shoulder, and then, oh Prabhuji, let me help you. And you pick it up, and then you put it on the other shoulder. So, okay, yes, you may give relief to the one shoulder, but still the burden is there. So we have to benefit the ancestors by connecting them to the Supreme Lord. So the rituals have to be connected to Vishnu, and the examples has been given by our acharyas that they don't neglect, but they perform it in such a way that the highest benefit will be given. Hare Krishna. Yes, Babu.
Like this material world is Khalya Shashwat.
Hmm.
But without happiness, one cannot survive. Maybe usually happiness, whatever it is. So how to understand that without happiness, one cannot survive this material world. Whatsoever living, it may be animal or whatever, they need some happiness. So how to understand?
Without happiness, we cannot survive. This material world is said, Tukalam, Shashwatam, Padam, Padam, Yat Padam. At every step, there's danger, there's suffering, it's temporary. But without any pleasure or happiness, no one can survive. And yes, within the material world, therefore, there is material happiness. Yes. Happiness in this world is categorized according to the modes of nature. Those who go for Bhangra dances with alcohol and go to nightclub and disco, the music is going boom, boom, boom. They are drinking the alcohol. Some are even on the floor, dancing there. So the man on the floor, he's thinking, today, this party is the best party. Someone else who didn't drink too much can say, no, but this man now, this is horrible, it's embarrassing, this is tama. So he is enjoying ignorance, becoming a fool, becoming dirty. Someone in passion, he thinks I'm better because I'm still standing up, I can still talk to others. This is my enjoyment, but still temporary, nectar in the beginning. But tomorrow, headache, suffering, money gone, fighting. And then in goodness, they are sitting at home thinking, what about my business, my family? Maybe I should go to Dwarka this holidays, go on yatra maybe. So it's so that I can get good health, good wealth, my life is okay. So they find happiness in that. So therefore Krishna is saying, we have to give up these, but this giving up doesn't mean become dead like a stone. Look at the devotees, we are enjoying like anything. But we are enjoying with Krishna. We like the remnants of Krishna. So we offer to Krishna big festivals, the best kirtans, the best flowers, the best prasadam. Because we're trying to serve Krishna, Krishna gives us his remnants, gives us his darshan. So you are right, pleasure, ananda maya byasat, we are seeking pleasure always. But without guru, spiritual master, then we will seek it in the material world and become entangled and suffer. But when we get divine understanding, then we seek it through the process of surrender and cooperation with Ananda Murti, Krishna, the form of all pleasure. Yes, so we encourage people, if you want to enjoy, come in the Sangha of the devotees. The Hare Krishna movement is for enjoying like anything. But this enjoyment is a byproduct of serving Krishna. Thank you, thank you. So thank you, dear devotees, for your kind attention. Kantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.